Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So, the tank is empty. What happened? Well, it's not empty, and I will show you what's in here. But ultimately, as I shared in my last video, as I downsized from all my tanks, I'm just going through a period of my life where I want to do something different. Number one, that cichlid tank was a dream. To have all those cichlids, to collect them, it's kind of like, when you're doing a big cichlid tank like that, you're kind of collecting. It's like collecting fish. You're getting all the, the rare and the interesting fish that you've always wanted. So I did that, and I grew them out, and it was very cool. And I'm ready for something different. And it's coinciding with my personal life, which is that I have a lot going on, which is great, but it means I don't want to be spending all my weekends doing fish maintenance. So my plan for this tank, I've ordered some things that are coming. But first I'll show you what's in here before I tell you the plan. So, I have the legendary, the one and only Betta fish. Apparently it's Betta. It used to be Betta. I guess the proper terminology is Betta. And yes, I have one Betta. That is the only fish in this tank. I did that for two reasons. Three. One is just to have a fish in this tank while I figure out what's next. And that coincides with reason number two, which is this fish I have to feed, and therefore it poops, which feeds the beneficial bacteria so this tank stays cycled. That's important. And number three is because it may actually stay in here as the feature fish, because my plan is to create a maintenance-free fish tank. Now, if you Google maintenance-free fish tank, they do exist, and basically the concept is that you do a heavily planted tank with a very low bio load of either fish, shrimp, snails, or whatever else you want. So I ordered a bunch of live plants. None of these are live, so I'm going to take these out. I might keep the big ones in the back just until the other plants grow, or even keep all of them, give more coverage for the shrimp, because I ordered some cherry shrimp. So my plan is to breed the cherry shrimp. They do breed very easily, so I got 20 of them, so they'll procreate and fill this tank with shrimp. I did buy about a dozen mystery snails of all different types of varieties. There is a blue and a yellow. Up there on the Powerhead is an albino. Over there is a black. Down here is a black and a yellow, it looks like. And I don't know if any others are out right now. But they cruise around and they're fun. But yeah, the plan is to create a closed system ecosystem where I literally will just top off the water as it evaporates. Because, plants, what they love is nitrates. And that is the end product. When you look at, here's another snail up in the leaves, that's cool, cruising along. That's an Inca, which is basically just a yellow golden mystery snail. But yeah, so if you look up, when you first start a fish tank, everyone talks about the nitrogen cycle, right? And what that is, and that's when people say, like, you have to cycle your tank. And what you're doing is creating a environment that's similar to nature, right? Which is, you need the beneficial bacteria that breaks down the living organism's poop, the fish poop, which creates ammonia. And there's actually two colonies, and that's what filters are for. All this surface area is just to grow beneficial bacteria. As the water gets sucked up through, it passes all this beneficial bacteria, all the ammonia that is in the water from the fish poop and rotting animals and rotting food that doesn't get processed, will get eaten by that first colony of beneficial bacteria. Then a second after when you get when you start a new tank, that's the first colony that grows. It's a colony that eats the ammonia, and they poop out nitrite, and then so the bacteria creates another waste product, and the nitrite is food for the second colony, and they eat the nitrite and make nitrate, and plants love nitrate. And when you don't have a planted tank, the only way to get rid of nitrate is to do a water change. To change the water. That's the end of the nitrogen cycle, unless you have plants. And that is, of course, an ecosystem. That's how water stays clean. They are changing the water, right? There's evaporation, there's rain. The water is changed in lakes and rivers and the ocean, of course, constantly. However, if there are ponds that are stagnant, and they do get some rain, so I guess I'm proving my own point wrong, that I will probably need to add some water at some point. But I will when it evaporates, right? So I guess it will be similar. It evaporates, I'll add some, there will be new water, but the majority of, but I'm not going to take any water out, which means that I'm not going to be the one removing the nitrates. The plants are. So that's the goal, is to create enough of a ecosystem of plants that can handle the bioload of this little fellow, which is currently named Beatrice, 12 mystery snails, and a colony of red cherry shrimp. And we'll see how that goes. So that's going to be the experiment moving forward. I want a tank that I don't have to think about, have to worry about that I had maybe 30, 3 to 8 inch cichlids. And cichlids are one of the most dirtiest fish. You got to change the water all the time. And they're always messing with each other. It's a whole hassle. So I can't tell you how good it feels to have one fish in here and know, like, I don't have to worry about my water at all right now. Like, even without any plants in here, I know this tank could go a long time with no water changes, with just the bioload that's in it, based on the amount of filtration I have. So that's the plan. I'm sure this is a bit of a shock to some of you, but the hobby should reflect ourselves. And currently myself, I'm going through a period of time where I'm trying to simplify and maximize my life. And the fish tank is just an expression of that. And so I'm curious, I'm excited. I also am excited about just being more natural, right? We create these artificial glass box experiences for these fish. And in many cases, right, you could argue this betta fish, this tank is too small, right? In its natural environment, the volume of water that this fish would have at its disposal, this is a fraction of what it would live in its natural environment. So I'm also going to start a movement, free the bettas, because they live in these little glass bowls and they deserve something like this. So let me know what you think in the comments, and please do like. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and helps support the channel. And if you haven't, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one when the shrimp arrive. Alright, take care everybody. Talk soon. Cruising and Beatrice.